Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to get started. I'm just going to give everyone about 30 seconds more to join us, and then we will hop right in. Happy Wednesday, happy hump day. I hope everyone's having a great week so far. Great week with lots of smiles and happy patients. We're just going to give everyone just a couple of more seconds to join. Okay, we're gonna hop right in. So again, thank you all so much for joining us today. My name is Demetria Wright, and I will be your host today. We're gonna be discussing the 6 keys to a modern, high-performing website. Thank you all again. So again, my name is Demetria Wright. I am a senior demand generation manager at RevenueWell, and I'm joined today by my colleague, Mr. Milt Hodges. He's RevenueWell's Senior Director of SEO. Hi, Milt. How's it going?
Hi, good morning, Demetria. It's nice to be here with everyone today.
Yeah, awesome. I'm really excited about today's discussion. Milt helps a lot of dental practices get up and going with their website, not only to make it look great and function great, which we're going to talk about today, but also attract that traffic to the website with his SEO services as well. So we're going to dive into all of that today. I'm really excited for the discussion, and I hope you guys get a lot out of it. Here's some high-level things that we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about what a modern dental practice's website should look like and what it should include. We're also going to talk about user friendliness that lends to an overall excellent experience. This is really important, just making sure that when people get to your website, the experience does not frustrate them. We've all been there before. So we're going to talk about how to make that a great, stellar experience for them. Getting found by the right potential patients. I know that not only do you want to attract new patients, but you want to make sure that they're the right type of patient for your practice. So we'll talk about that. And then also just ensuring that your brand translates through all of your marketing activities. And that website is really your anchor. It's your hub for your marketing activities. So you want to make sure that it really showcases your brand. And so we're going to talk about that. So I want to set the stage. Your website has a lot of power. Hopefully you guys are joining today because you understand that and you realize that and you respect it. You have to respect the online world and the power that it yields. So just to give you some context to today's conversation, a 2019 survey revealed that when selecting a new dentist, 94% of individuals agree that their first impression of a website is design related. So pure aesthetics and its design and its configuration, they judge, that's their first impression. 75% judge a business's credibility based on a website. How many times have you gone to a website and you said, this doesn't look right, it looks a little shady, or doesn't look like they have too much skin in the game? So credibility is a big thing that you want your website to convey, that you're a professional, you've got skin in the game, you're an expert. And then 43% of individuals base their choices off of online reviews, which is, again, a huge thing that we're going to get into. We'll discuss more on that. So as we get started, I just want to kind of get a temperature check of the room. We're going to take a quick poll. So we're going to, our first poll question is, what would you say is your website's biggest challenge? If you all could just take a couple of seconds and answer that, that would be great. We just want to see where everybody's at, and we can kind of tailor our discussion to that. But what is your website's biggest challenge? Is it a modern and professional look? Is it navigation in clear and visible CTAs, calls to action? Is it mobile friendliness? Or is it getting found, i.e. SEO, Google search rankings? Okay, we're going to close that out. It looks like Most of you said it's either a modern and professional look or it's getting found. So getting found when people are searching for dentists in your area, searching for services that you provide. And then also once people land on your website, it looks like another big problem is making it pop, making it wow, and making it function the way that you want and look as the way that you want. Okay, so thank you guys so much for that. So Milt, we're gonna jump right in. So the first key, we have 6 keys here. The first key is website design and a stellar user experience, which we just kind of talked about this. It seems like a lot of people say that the design and a modern look is their big issue right now. So can you just talk about this? I do want to kind of set the tone of this being that design is more than just the visual, correct? It's also the navigational aspects of your website, right?
Yeah, it's both, and your goal is to have a modern and attractive template that clearly showcases your brand and gets the visitor to the information they're seeking. They want to be able to find that information quickly. So every practice has their specific target demographic and what types of patients they're trying to attract to their practice. And so knowing your target audience, the types of patients that you see, your general practice, it's, you do some of the basic preventative types of care, but you also offer cosmetic dentistry aspects and restorative dentistry. So you want to make sure that the website can speak to all of those different types of services that you have, in addition to making sure that you're reaching your target audience by making sure that you have clear calls to action, adaptability that allows the visitor to navigate the website in the way they want. You have clear, basically buckets of information that are easily able, that they can find exactly what they're looking for. An example with that would be maybe there's a search box that helps, they can navigate the site, but at the same time, they can just type in something in the search box and get directly to what they're looking for. Other aspects of that is, also utilizing some chat aids as well. But the most important thing is that they can find things that are frequently asked. I think a lot of times I like practices to also think about the kind of patient they want, and then that collaboration with the front office, the practice managers, things like that, where you're utilizing that as part of your marketing team is your team. What are people asking about? What are they trying to look for? How can we showcase that on the website that they can get to answer those questions a lot more easier right there on the site, as opposed to them calling your practice like really all the time about every simple thing, where you can actually have that on your website and elevate that a little bit. Frequently asked questions about our practice, having something highlighted such as new patients, making sure that's visible. We talked about people being able to find patient reviews. Maybe there's a button that can add right there on the front navigation that you can find patient reviews a lot easier.
And one thing that I wanted to bring up, which is I took us to this site because, like you said, you want to make sure that you're not just having new patients come to your website, but you're also having existing patients come to your website. You're having people who were referred to your website for whatever reason. And so you want to make sure that everyone has the information visible that they're looking for. So whether it's existing patient info or welcome, or you're looking under preventative care, restorative, or cosmetic, everyone has that information. And again, those clear buckets of service lines so that people can get to what they want to get to quickly. If I know that I want veneers, I can go to cosmetic dentistry quickly. If I know that I need an implant, I can get there quickly. So just making sure that everyone has the information that they want clearly. And then, Milt, like you said, those clear calls to actions. If you notice, no matter where I'm going, I can always request an appointment, right? It's always there. It does not disappear, and it appears in other places. Where you can schedule, you can email, you can call them, you can have that search box, but you always have multiple ways to book an appointment. So that's really what you want to focus on as well, just because your website is a means of conversion. So you want to make sure that you get there as quickly as possible, get the patient to where they want to be. So, and Milt, really it's all about just when someone goes to your website, you want to make sure that they have a good user experience. A good user experience is about how the potential patient feels when interacting with your website. I always say, especially if they're looking for a service that is they're in pain, or they're looking for something more cosmetic such as veneers or what have you, how do they feel when they go to your website? Do you get them excited about that? Do you make them feel safe if it's a procedure that they know that they need, but maybe they're afraid of the dentist? Does your website convey, that's okay, we've got you, we understand that going to the dentist can be a bit of an anxiety driving thing for people. So you want people to have a great experience, whatever they're looking for when they go to your website. And so, Milt, next we're going to talk about credibility, which we touched on a bit, but credibility is so important, especially when you're looking for a healthcare professional. And again, we've all been there when we go to a website and it seems this is a bit shady. This isn't what we were looking for. So just how can we make sure that we are conveying as dental professionals that we are the expert and that you're safe with us and we know what we're doing?
Yeah, it's great. And kind of like a few important things here, as we see in these bullets, is clearly display your services on your homepage. And what I want to say about that is a lot of time that's overlooked. And one of the best practices we like to convey to our clients who are getting a new website with us is we make sure that we want to customize that homepage content, recognizing that there are basically four ways a practice will get new patients. One is, you have a practice may have a referral network for different specialties that they offer. Sometimes that you can find that within GP. You do find that more with OMS and some other practice, some other specialties. But you want to make sure that's one of the ways that people, get new patients through some sort of referral network. Second is referred from friends or family members, right? Third is going to be what we call organic search, what we call search engine optimization. People are searching for a practice, a service, that type of thing, and they find you that way. And then lastly is some sort of paid advertisement. That could be paid Google ads, it could be paid Facebook ads, it could be email campaign where you're paying for email placement for getting new visitors. It could be direct mail cards or mailers or that kind of a thing. Those are generally the four ways. So the homepage really needs to convey that message. Your existing clients, they already know who you are. They come and they get their dental cleanings and they already know you, right? That message for your homepage is speaking to people who are searching for you. And when they land there, they're reading just a blurb to attract their attention about who you are, the services you offer. Maybe you want to say that there's a lot of people who have dental anxiety. Maybe you want to say something about how you make people feel more comfortable when they come to your practice. So those are some things that homepage content's important. A supplement to that homepage content is saying, why choose our practice? That's your opportunity. Say that line, that big header. Why choose our practice? Why come here? However you want to word that. But then underneath that, you're listening to that target audience who are looking for a practice, that mom for her kids, for her family. You get to say, here are 4 bullets is why people choose us. And maybe there's a link to your reviews, but that's a really, really important thing that you want to convey. And then go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, no, that's awesome, because what you said with the bullet points,
Mhm.
when you go to a website, everyone digests information in different ways. So you can make sure that you have your headers, but then also, you can have paragraph style, but also make sure that you throw in some bullets. Make sure that you throw in kind of maybe a Q&A style, so that right, they're getting all the information. You can never give too much information, but you can leave people feeling like they're in the dark. Bill, one thing that I really love, and you can speak to this too, is the multimedia aspects of this. Again, people dissect information in different ways. And
Right.
one thing about the dentist is when you can show someone an animation of the procedure that they're going to need, or the procedure that they're looking to get, talk about credibility, right? And making them feel safe.
Yeah, exactly. And so not only the multimedia, which is a really nice presentation to explaining something on a procedure page, but if you think about the practice, and even sometimes the front desk may know this, but more so the doctor, which is, you know, What are 5 things that someone asks about getting a tooth implant or a dental crown? What are the top 5 questions or top 3 questions where that doctor says, if I had a nickel for every time someone asked this question, uh,
Right.
man, I'd be a very wealthy man. I always say that's excellent. Put that on the page in terms of your FAQs, your frequently asked questions to each of your top procedures. For teeth whitening, what are the 5 questions that people ask about teeth whitening, etc.? Make sure those Q&A questions are on your homepage, because if you do that, somebody else has that same question and they're looking for that same answer. And if you answer their questions, they're more than likely to book an appointment with you than the other competitor.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, our next one is mobile friendly. Now, this one is I think it's familiar to most of us. I think if there's anything that might be considered foundational knowledge is have your site be mobile friendly. But a lot of people do fall into the pitfalls of having a mobile friendly site. It's not just does the text realign on the phone? Can people see it? It's really how is it organized and is it digestible, right, Milt?
Yep, exactly. And so these bullets are all consistent with what we see as a best practice. Larger, easy to read text, adjusted navigation to where no matter where you are, it fits to your page or your iPad or your desktop computer, touch-friendly buttons and page elements, faster download speeds. You want to make sure whether it's your desktop or your mobile, you want that to load between 1 and 3 seconds. Once you start going above that, you're going to start losing potential new patients. I like this tip here. If your website is not mobile friendly, we're probably going to put this in the show notes as well, the specific link to
Yeah,
Google where you can test to see if your website is mobile friendly or not. Just another reason to update your website if you feel you need to just do that, where you've had to say, man, we've had this for 3 to 5 years. If you think about website design as this, you notice more and more popular grocery stores where they go and they beautify all these different stores in their area, whether it's a Safeway, an Albertsons, Kroger, whatever, right? You know why they invest all that money to do that? They know it attracts newer people going to that grocery store. Every time they've done studies. We redid the face of our grocery store. We have a new grand opening. You're like, why are they having a grand opening? Well, they're having a grand opening. Yeah, it's been there for a while, but guess what? We beautified the place. Come in, check us out. They want everybody to know about it because they are also trying to attract new shoppers because there's so many grocery stores in town. Your website is the same way. There's a lot of competition. Make sure your site stands out from your competitors.
awesome. Awesome. And yes, we will, in our follow-up email with the recording of this session, we're going to give you guys this link. And this is a Google link. You will be able to see, Google will tell you if your site is considered mobile friendly according to their standards. Super helpful resource. I'll be sending that to you guys in the follow-up email. Okay, key 4, fast. Fulfill the need for speed. Now, this one, again, you kind of just touched on this,
Mhm.
but 1 in 4 visitors will abandon a site that takes longer than 4 seconds to load. You just said this, Milt. And each second, this was kind of interesting to me, and this, we have our sources here, but this was interesting to me. It came, each second, 1 second delay causes a drop in satisfaction by as much as 15%. I personally can attest to this. I am a speed demon. I do not like waiting on websites, especially if it's urgent, which sometimes it can be when people are searching your dental website. They're in pain, they're looking for someone who can take them immediately. And that wait can end up costing you a lot of conversion, right?
Yeah, 100%. And I feel that some key things to think about when we talk about speed. So a lot of times when our clients want to do website design, we've had a few clients where they want videos everywhere. And while it's nice to have videos everywhere, you
Slow
want
you
to have
down.
them in the right spots, maybe a homepage presentation. We also are seeing a trend where more and more doctor bio pages, where they have a little bit of copy, but they have the video first. Welcome to my practice. Not every doctor likes to do videos, but ones who are really good at it, they don't mind doing that video presentation, which I think is a nice touch as well. But you don't want to have so many videos that it bogs down the weight of your website, right? So you want to make sure you do that in an efficient way and maybe having more photos instead of a ton of more videos, that kind of a thing. So, but Having said all that, it's nice to have the aesthetic look, but you do want to be careful about having too much of larger images and larger videos on your website. You want to do it where it's very tasteful and relevant to your target audience.
Yeah, it can really weigh the website down and slow it down. So I want to check back in with you all. You all still with us? We're going to take a second poll question. That poll question, launch. What are you currently using to drive traffic to your website? Now, this is taking a turn in the conversation where we've talked about what are you doing when people land on your website? How are you going to wow them? But there's also a component of what are you doing to get people to your website? And that is a key component of a high performing website. You need people to land on that website so then you can then wow and convert them. So what are you currently doing? Can you guys please answer that for us? It looks like a lot of people are using SEO. That's awesome. Great for great long-term steady growth. That's awesome. We're going to talk about that some more. It looks like some people have some paid search. Unfortunately, there's a pretty decent group that says you're not doing anything to drive traffic to your website. We're going to get into that. So I'm going to close this poll. It looks like the majority, 52% of you are utilizing SEO. That is awesome. That makes my heart smile. So glad to hear it. Second up was paid search. Third with 13% was paid social, but 30% of you all are not doing anything. So Milt, let's talk about getting people to the website so that you actually can wow them. So we're gonna right now focus on SEO. SEO is a great way. I'm so happy so many of you are using it. Milt, how can we dive into SEO from a website performance standpoint?
Yeah, so a number of things. If you are using currently using an SEO outfit or doing it in-house, you just want to make sure it's effective, and you want to make sure that you're reaching your target goals. That could be your keyword ranking. It could also be making sure your conversions are right. So if you're looking for how many people click on the book appointment button, you should be able to track that using Google Analytics, and your agency should be able to tell you how many conversions am I getting per month from search engine optimization. So they should be able to tell you that. Some things that we use is in terms of local search, local meaning in your general area, is your Google My Business listing. And that is your, what we call Google Maps. And sometimes if you're doing a search in an area, you guys can perform this search right now. Just do a search outside of your login for Google. What I mean is don't be logged into your Google, your Gmail account. So just do a general search outside of Google, or what we call incognito search, and just do a search for dentist, like I'm in Novato. Do a search for dentist Novato. Do a search for city and then dentist. Why is that important? Because not everyone is going to type in the same way to do that search. They may just say, I'm in Chicago, so I'm going to type in Chicago dentist, or I'm going to type in dentist Chicago. You might be thinking, isn't that the same thing? Yes and no. You will get different search results, and you will see the search results change based on how you search for that. Or dentist in Chicago. Google does not see those things as the same. They are different keyword phrases. So it's important to know. But in your business listing, you want to make sure that your business listing, your Google My Business listing, is popularized. Some people, it's where it's populated with all your top services. Some people say, why is their business listing higher? They don't even have any reviews. It's also by proximity. Where are you related in terms of what you're searching for? Are you near that specific area? Is that practice closer to that location than you are? There's a lot of factors for how that works. But if you make sure your listing is complete, you have a photo, your logo's there, you have a description of your practice. Maybe you update your office hours to where your office hours are always consistent. Not how many times do you try to go to a restaurant, you drive there, it says it's open, you get there, it's not open, and you had a taste for that specific food. You're like, man, I'm mad now. I get there, maybe you have your girlfriend or your spouse or whatever, and it's like, it's such a bummer. It's like, man, this really, I drove all this way and they're not even open, even though the app says they're open. So make sure your information is accurate. It also has an area for services that you offer. Make sure you list your services on mobile. All these things will help the visibility of you in your Google Maps. And of course, the optimization your descriptions, your keywords, just your optimized website, optimizing your images, just a really full service way of optimizing your entire website. Because the higher you rank, this is what I do know, the higher your visibility is organic, improves the likelihood you're going to show in the Google Maps. So just wanted to mention that.
No, that's all great information. And one thing really quickly that I wanted to touch on was just the importance of online reviews. And I spoke with the dentist yesterday who said that he is actually careful about how much he markets his services, because he has so many online reviews that he gets new patients just off of that, because Google will show his practice. So one of the very basic things you can do to just try to see some type of improvement in your ranking and how you show up is just to make sure that you really are driving reviews and getting, again, it also speaks to the credibility factor. So we have about 5 minutes left, and we still have a couple of things I want to get to before we touch on the Q&A. If you have a question, please throw it in the Q&A section. We will try to get to that before the end of our discussion. The last key number 6, is to be brand centric. The spotlight's on you. Your website is your stage. You are the director, your staff, everyone, all of you play a key role. This is your production. So Milt, you've said before when we were talking about this, it's a good time to think about branding when you're building a new website. Can we just take maybe like a minute or so and just talk about this? When you're gonna decide to refresh or rebuild a website, it's a good time to talk about the brand of your practice, right?
Yeah, 100%. And just real quick, it's just these bullet lists right here. A good time to think about this is before getting a new website. Everything starts with a logo to represent your brand identity. Make sure your branding translates to social as well. So those last 2 bullets, maybe your logo is great, but if you look at it and have your team look at it as a buy-in, does it represent you? Does it represent you today? Is it going to represent you the next 5 to 10 years in terms of who your brand is? It's so important. And with our team, you don't necessarily have to get a brand new logo. You could say, we want a logo modification. So maybe then the branding team can work with you to just modify it a little bit. It's a cheaper cost to do a logo remod, as opposed to doing a brand new logo. But regardless, that is your brand. It's on your business cards. It could be on your doors, those types of things. So make sure that your logo, your brand identity is tight. The other thing is what you do in terms of a practice. I always call it a culture. There's the culture of a specific practice. And understanding that will help you translate better to communicate with your target audience. This is our culture at such and such dentistry. This is what we do. This is who we are. Your brand, all that needs to translate to that audience, and linking that to your social media as well, whether you're on Instagram or Facebook. When you're promoting something on your website, promote it to Facebook in that format, promote it to Instagram in that specific format. So a lot of times, if you're talking about your logo, you may want to ask that design team, hey, we also want to use this logo on Instagram and on Facebook, and you get it sized to that specific audience. And that's whether it's a post or whether it's a video or whatever. You want to make sure it's for that specific audience.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. Yes, great time to think about your branding when you're looking to redo your website. So before we get to try to answer a couple of questions, if you are looking to do a reset, you need to just identify whether or not you're meeting the standard of today's modern patient. If not, before you hit that reset button, think about what we discussed today, make it a thoughtful, business-minded decision that makes sense for you all. And right now we do have a promotion going on where if you would like to get a new website, we have templates that could get you up and running in as little as a couple of weeks. But if you want to pair a new website with a traffic driver such as SEO, page search, or page social, you can bundle a website with one of those digital marketing traffic drivers that'll bring people to your website. And then of course your new website will wow and convert them to give you some more new patient growth, which we love. So really quickly, I want to get into questions, Q&A. If you have any, we're going to try to take a couple before we get going. We have, how long does it take to get a new website set up? Milt, I just mentioned that I know for us, it's about what would you say? I don't want to speak out of turn. What would you say?
So yeah, we have two specific websites that you can get. You can get a custom website, which is where you want to customize that website to your target audience in a really detail-oriented way. Those cost more, cost about 9K on up, right? Custom. Out of the box, our templates that you would choose, we can launch those within 3 weeks to a month, generally, to put those up there a lot faster to put up.
Awesome, awesome. Would you say it is more important to showcase the practice and the team rather than the services up front on the homepage? I think you kind of talked about this, but it's really about kind of having that good blend and that bucketizing of the information, correct?
Yeah, and so in that opening page content and where you say why choose us, we have an incredible team. And those can be hyperlinks that goes directly to your team bios, or it can be a hyperlink to go to the dentist bio or something like that. So using that homepage, customized homepage content is very, very key to organize that, working with our team and a collaborative effort to make sure you have nailed that homepage content. But you can just link directly from there. You don't need to highlight that on a page, but you highlight it within your content to where you can click on it and go to the page about looking at your staff or your doctor.
Awesome. And then just one more question really quickly. What's a good website conversion rate that I should be looking for?
Yeah, I would say that for the dentistry practice, I would say anything when we're talking about booking online appointments from visitors, it'd be great to get something like 2.75 in terms of a conversion rate. That would be really, really good. So somewhere around there. Yeah.
Awesome. That was great. Great. Well, thank you all for attending. We're going to email you the recording as well as a couple of other resources. This is our first as live discussion as a part of our digital marketing educational workshop. We're also going to be in that follow-up email going to send you a link to join our next discussion, which Milt is going to return and do a deep dive into SEO. That webinar is going to be titled Your Path to the Top, Getting Your Practice on the Front Page of Google Rankings. So please look out for that. And thank you all again. Have a great Wednesday. Have a great rest of your week. Bye-bye.